burning up the ice and fleeing the dirt with this week's episode of Lucas Oil on the Edge. As always, we've got a lot of great racing coming your way today. We'll start off with snowmobile oval racing on the ice, and then we'll move to the dirt track for some intense ATV racing. It's on Lucas Oil on the Edge, and it's on right now.
Go! Got it tacked up, and if you get too close, you're getting cracked up. Stone cold when I roll, coming out of the hole. Get back, cause I'm out of control. I'm on the edge!
Ken Stout and Brian Olson with you here at the Lucas Oil Fire on Ice Snowmobile Oval Race. Welcome to Wisconsin. Yep, it gets cold up here, and when it gets cold, it's time to pull the snowmobiles out and put them on the ice and snow for once as they take them out of the water. But these things are crazy fast and a lot of fun to watch, and as you might imagine, it takes a good while to get this track prepped.
Well, guys, an awesome facility here, and this racetrack is really second to none. It takes 100 man-hours to put this bad boy together. It's a 4/10-mile oval with 75-foot wide straightaways and, of course, 75-foot corners. Now, it's on 16 inches of ice, and the preferred line is right around the bottom. And in dirt track racing, we talk about the marbles, the loose stuff. In snowmobiling, we have the same thing. The snow marbles, you got to stay out of those to be fast here today.
Well, that ice just looked perfect. It looked like a Zamboni's been around that thing, and you can see how these sleds are offset to a degree as these guys will try to get off to that left side and get a little weight over there.
And you'll see them as you see the starting lineup. Some of the best in the business here for round number one here are Fire on Ice 600cc Open Final.
Great flag flies and immediately on the throttle, and look at the speed out of these things. Absolutely incredible athletes.
Man, I mean, you talk about leaning off to one side. As you mentioned earlier, you can look at the bodies and they're leaned a little bit the way they're constructed, but here is why. Never at any given time are you sitting up or in the center of that thing unless the potential of a yellow flag.
Oh, and way wide over there, and as you might imagine, the vision can be sketchy when you get back in the roost from a sled that's in front of you. They are pitching those things sideways and holding on.
Guys with the open 600s around the racetrack, everybody wondering how fast they're going? Let's check out the radar gun. 77 right there. We saw some of the early laps turning 81, 84 miles an hour. Now remember, that's coming out of the corner. We're approaching three-digit, triple-digit 100 entering turn one.
Absolutely incredible speed, to say the least. And of course, the last thing you want to do is high side one of these things. You'll go for quite a ride. You can see one of the riders there puts his hand up. He is out of the race. Had a mechanical there and wanted to let everybody know he was slowing down.
Gary Moyle leads them all, and Gary Moyle has from the start, and the drop of the green flag as Dustin Wall now has made up some ground here, and it's right on the tail. Now for the lead machine again, the key is you're not having to take up any of that snow or any of that ice in your face. Of course, you got all the safety equipment on, but at the end of the day, that stuff starts hitting your face shield. You do not want that to happen. You want the best visual you can get on this track.
And Dustin Wall, he's been all over the back of him, finally takes an inside route, gets a clean shot, and takes away the lead on that Polaris.
Man, that thing is on a roll right now. That is one fast sled. As the last lap, the white flag comes out, and it appears at least that Dustin Wall will win this baby going away.
And you've got to be in great physical condition as well. And he was on the attack late in this race. And look at the distance he stretched that thing out to in the span of 2 laps. Dustin Wall laying him out here.
I got to think something happened to Gary Moyle's machine because it was nowhere to be found after leading the biggest share. Yeah, he ends up in 7th place overall. Dustin Wall, once again, your champion. Then Joel Diamond, Nick Dolezal, your top 3.
Dustin Wall, congratulations, man. You guys put on a heck of a show.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to come here and race. This track's awesome. I kind of had the track, kind of knew where I wanted to, and I could see the leader's tail light, so I knew where he was. So I could see where I was gaining a little on him, and I put all my lines together and was able to catch him. And then once I got out front, I could go where I wanted to go and pulled away from there.
Talk about a competitive class. The 600 open riders definitely know how to put on a show. When we come back, we're moving to Missouri for some ATV flat track racing. The dirt will be flying and you won't want to miss it.
This Lucas Oil On the Edge telecast is being brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. General Tire, anywhere is possible. Erickson tie downs and tow straps. Tie it, tow it, move it.
We promised you an ATV race and we're set to deliver an outstanding final race in the ProAm ST class. 13 talented riders are set to tackle the 20-lap main event, but they'll have to lay it all on the line to take home the trophy here tonight.
All right, welcome to Sykeston, Missouri for the General Tire ATV race. Ah, yes, again, very talented riders here. We'll take them off of the ice and snow and get them out here on the dirt. Full field here this evening, and they will dig hard. Talk about pitching them sideways fast. They'll get after it.
The SEMO Raceway, guys, a very tight, very technical, very fast 3/8 mile dirt oval. And I say technical because it's that tight. You have to run that low line to be fast. We're going to see bumping. We're going to see banging. A lot of speed here at SEMO today.
And in the ProAm ST category, here's a look at the starting grid, if you will. You can see them paired up back there. And, of course, where you want to be is that preferred spot on the pole, the inside front row. Outside, way up there close to the wall.
Yeah, you want to be on that number 33 right there, man, to start this race off.
Oh, and from the middle of the front row, gets the early lead.
One thing about these quads, they are totally open wheel, and you get a chance, and you don't ever really want it to happen, but you go wheel to wheel here, you can catapult yourself on these things.
Oh yeah, these things are very, very difficult. We watched Chucky Creech and Brad Riley do a battle here for the lead. Of course, they get him out there sideways, but again, talk about something that can really ruin your days if you high side one of these. And boy, that was close right there. Ken Marceau trying to stay out of the way.
He's got the onboard camera. In fact, you can see it on top of the helmet right there, giving us some great shots from position number 5. Whoa.
And we've got one off and over, exactly what we were talking about. So they'll pull out the caution flag here and slow everybody back down. We'll see if we can get them turned back around. But more importantly, instead of going too wide or to line them back up as they were before, you'll see that they'll start off single file as they were.
Looks like they got them all lined up and ready to go. The rider was A-OK.
And you can see the flagman right there actually flips a switch, turns the light green, and off they go from a dead stop again.
Instant green, not like drag racing when you see amber first. It was an instant green from yellow.
Right around the bottom.
Whoa!
Like Kleber was talking about. Again, you mentioned getting wheel to wheel, and that's exactly the result of it when you get wheel to wheel and the frustration. These guys are upset.
Watch this baby again in replay. Now you can blame whoever you want to, but at the end of the day, the red machine obviously went a little bit too hot in there. Got her sideways. The 22 clips it on the tires, as mentioned, and over it went.
And that number 22 was Billy McKinney out of Moore, Oklahoma. So they went for a ride just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Chucky Creech at the head of the pack again. They go on board one more time.
Marceau right down to the bottom there, just sneaks through.
Marceau up to the 4th spot here now.
And you can see these guys, I mean, they stick it right down on the bottom if there's room at all. You get just a little bit high, and they will drive it right underneath you. And again, Brad Riley doing his best to keep the pressure on, try and get under Creech. Stay with us, we'll have more racing action in a moment.
You're watching Lucas Oil on the Edge, and we are just over halfway through the main event in the ProAm ST class. Everyone's been chasing Chucky Creech after he took the lead on lap 2, but only 0.274 seconds behind is second-place rider Brad Riley. Creech needs to stay clean and smooth in order to hold off the rest of the field.
So back to the action here. So you can see these guys going at it, a couple of the onboard cameras, and one of those is Ken Marceau battling back there in 5th and 6th place.
Yeah, and Chucky doing his best to take that low line. And as we mentioned earlier, and actually we did it in the earlier part of the show with the snowmobiles on ice, very similar here. You're going to have a racing groove, then you're going to have the marbles, because this thing has been ridden on quite a bit. The black area has probably got a little bit of slickness to it, but if you want to get in it, you want to stay clear away from the marbles up on the top side.
You can see some of those guys entering that turn. They lift up that inside left rear tire just a little bit. I mean, they are fractions of an inch away from flipping them. They're pushing them just as absolutely hard as possible.
You can tell right there the battle for somewhere in the middle of the pack. The 33 of Ken Marceau is right in there with him. I believe that battle is for 4th spot. Doug Crossway now, another one of our helmet cams there. General Tire. Oh, tough break there.
One of the competitors down and out.
These are pretty good sized men on these things. I mean, you know, they're not little bitty guys like you'd think a jockey on a horse or whatever the case might be. They've all been pretty good sized boys. Damon Brown, Doug Crossway, Justin McGilton, all shooting for that 3rd place spot here.
McGilton almost into the right rear there. Got the thing just outside a little bit to try and keep his momentum up. He's taking a look at that outside, but now it's going to cost him.
It's a great race there for the spot.
A lot of body English here. You see him get the body off to the left and down low. Keep them high siding that thing, of course. And then they'll actually put their body back on the seat when they're going down the straightaway to try and look for some rear grip.
Final lap here, 19 of 20 in.
On the throttle hard, just dancing the front end up in the air. Out front though, Chucky Creech is really showing these guys how to get around.
Yeah, his closest competitor is not anywhere between about, 10 or so quad lengths. Here's that battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Great race.
Damon Brown will hang on to it for 3rd place. Doug Crossway and Justin McGilton round out the top 5, but congrats to Chucky Creech getting it done, and of course Brad Riley goes right up there and says congrats.
And your General Tire ride to victory goes to number 25, Chucky Creech. It'll be Brad Riley, Damon Brown, Doug Crossway, Justin McGillen, your top 5. Then Ken Marceau, Cody Crisp, Dusty Crouch, John Hoffman, Billy McKinney, your top 10.
All the way from North Carolina, Chucky Creech, man, got the whole shot checked out from the rest of the field. Congratulations.
Yeah, man, I mean, it was awesome, you know. This Can-Am Turtle Race engine, PP, Roberts A-Arms, Fireball Racing, I couldn't ask for much more.
You guys were good getting in the corner, good in the middle of the corner, good coming off the corner. It looked like you had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. You just can't ask for no more. This is really fun.
Chucky Creech takes the win in Pro-Am.
We've got more great On the Edge racing coming your way, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to this exciting episode of Lucas Oil On the Edge. We've crowned a winner in the ProAm ST class, and now we're moving on to the big dogs of the ProAm class. These are modified ATVs that have 201cc and up engines under the hood. You must be 16 or older to compete in this class, and 20 riders have made it to the 15-lap main. Let's get right to it.
And talk about a stacked field. There are multiple rows here. They are separated by mere inches. And when they flip that green light on, hold on, baby, it gets interesting quick.
20 quads all together, ages 16 to 60. Running this event, and they are all bunched up.
Yeah, the guy that got off to the early lead out of the center of the front row spun it around between turns 1 and 2 and became a log jam.
And unlike the first event we saw, which was strictly an oval, now we move to the motocross track.
Yeah, so a little more technical here. You deal with some smaller jumps as well, which means you have to set that suspension up just a tad different.
Harold Goodman at 708 out front. It's Mahan, Ace, and Cook, the top 4.
Just dangling that left front tire off the ground as they lean it over. Get some grip on that right rear, nice and smooth around that tight left-hander, then back to the right-hander and up over just the smallest of hills, and then a real jump.
And watch how many times Goodman and all the other riders will take a real quick glance. When they get to the proper corner, they want to see where their fellow competitors are, not only those that are following directly behind, but whether there's a bundle of them bunched up at any point in time behind there as well.
And Goodman starting to stretch out that lead now.
Yeah, he's making it look kind of easy, really, but at the end of the day, it's not over till it's over.
Again, just perfect right there as that left front tire rolls right around the tire that is a marker for the track. You watch them when they land here. They land pretty stiff. They don't need a whole lot of suspension adjustments because the jumps are relatively small. So the stiffer you can keep it, the more traction you will get.
Very little travel on these machines because of the height of the bumps.
Let's check in Rob Klepper.
Well, guys, right now running in 7th, Brad Riley, 10 national wins here this season. He took home the National Pro Light title. He took home the National ProAm title, and he finished 2nd in the Pro title chase. Right now running in that 7th spot just goes to show you how tough it is here tonight at SEMO.
Well, and the design of the track, as you can see, has put these guys nose to tail. They're not really side by side. So the only way you can pick up a position is to really hope the guy in front of you makes a mistake or help him make a mistake.
Yeah, that's generally how it works out. You got to give him a little bit of a nudge, let him know you're there. There is one spot that's straight, even though it's got a hill on it, where it looks fairly wide. If you can really put the power to it, I think you can actually make the move on it.
And you can see when Goldman came off that final turn, man, he just got a lot of forward bite in that thing. Really just drives away from him. He has put a good amount of real estate between him and 2nd place. And I think 3rd, 4th, 5th might be a tick quicker than 2nd place. But again, it's one thing to be a little quicker. It's another thing to make the pass.
That's exactly right. As Mahan, Brian Ace, and Kirby Cook, those 3 in a row. Now, while they're back there battling it out, Goodman's just going further and further away. In fact, you got 2 bunches of 3 from 2nd to the number 7 spot overall battling it out.
And we talked about a mistake, and that's how quickly it can happen. Up on 2 wheels and actually saved it, came back the other way, but eventually Kirby Cook comes off of it, and as you can see, is in a good bit of pain there.
Oh, that's a bell ringer there. Watch it in replay. Top of your screen, right in the middle. High sides it, and I mean he goes right into that wall, and even with the rubber tire barriers right there, that one did hurt a little bit.
Kirby Cook went for a little bit of ride down here on the oval in turn 1, man. What happened?
Man, just drove it in too hard, running all the back of Brian Ace. Laps were winding down, had to go, went at the wrong time.
We love to hear from our fans. Go to Facebook.com and become a fan of Lucas Oil on the Edge. Then post your comments about this Lucas Oil on the Edge episode.
This Lucas Oil on the Edge telecast is being brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. General Tire, anywhere is possible. Herculiner truck bed liners, when the tough comes easy.
We're getting down to the end of the race in the Pro-Am class, and right before the break, we saw Kirby Cook's wild crash. Talk about exciting. He's done for tonight, but he'll be back for the next race. The guys still in contention for the win are going strong in the later laps. Goodman, Mahan, and Ace have been running 1, 2, and 3 all race long. Will there be a lead change in the next few laps? Let's find out.
And of course that brings out the caution, and that bunches them all back up after 6 of 15 laps, and we'll find out if Mahan has anything for Goodman. Now keep in mind, Harold Goodman won his heat race, heat number 5. Mahan right there in 2nd place also picked up a win in his heat race number 2, and then sitting back in 3rd place, Brian Ace won heat race number 4, so some very talented riders up in here.
Yeah, they're all up into that top 4. And one of the things Goodman, as you said, did not want to see was a caution or a red flag. It was bound to happen as close as they were running. As I said earlier, between 2nd place and 7th, you had 2 bunches of 3, and somebody was going to get in trouble. Unfortunately, that was Kirby Cook. Here again, Mahan, Ice, battling it out again. 3 more riders. That's good for Goodman. He continues to make a way and kind of break that gap, if you will.
Well, they've definitely closed the gap up right there as they start running into each other nose to tail. And that's the thing, too, you know, I mean, if you can run your line and just stay in there, if nothing else, you can block it and hang on to the position.
That's true, and that's exactly what's going on. Oh, man, and that slows down 3rd through 7th right there. Ace, Riley, Ibden, and Coburn, along with Gary down through there, your 3rd through 7th positions.
And Goodman again has checked out. Without a doubt, has a great combination and setup inside of that four-wheeler and is riding it flawlessly.
Yeah, doing one great job of riding that machine. And again, as I mentioned earlier, these are pretty good-sized guys riding these things. And it takes a pretty good-sized person to ride one. But in my mind, you want to put a jockey on there because just like in any other sport, the lighter they are, the faster they'll go. Final lap this time by Ken.
Goodman out of Brownstown, Michigan, trying to hang on as you look at this battle a little bit deeper as they take the white flag. I'll tell you, man, Goodman's got to make a violent mistake not to win this one.
Yeah, he's got a pretty sizable lead. In fact, you don't even see second through whatever till right about now. So he'd have to all but shut that thing off right now to lose this one.
It's relatively slick there on that blue groove, but you can see when he comes out of those turns, it has no problem picking up the front end. So he's still getting a ton of grip as he comes around the final turn and takes the checkered flag.
Harold Goodman picks up the win here in the unrestricted category of the ATVs. Mike Mahan comes in second, Brian Ace. There's Brad Riley, finishes number 4. Josh Ibden, Coburn, Gary, Jones, Pollock, and McGraw, your top 10.
And guys, that's how you get it done in Pro-Am. Harold Goodman, congratulations, man. What a great run for you. This thing was just bad fast tonight.
Yeah, you know, the bike setup was awesome tonight. You know, we just really hit it on the head. You know, I got good starts, got a good restart, and, you know, everything just went to the way it's supposed to.
Second part of that race you kind of checked out, but the first part, man, you guys were beating and banging out there pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these guys are super fast. They were all over me. It was, you know, really all I could do to just kind of, you know, I was pushing real hard to try to get just that little bit of cushion, so I had some, you know, a little bit of safety. But, you know, it worked out to my advantage. The second half, I got out, and I don't know, they must have been running so tight that it gave me a little opportunity to gap out a little bit, but man, it worked out well.
Thanks for watching this episode of Lucas Oil on the Edge. For Ken Stout, Brian Olson, and Rob Klepper, I'm Jamie Howe. We'll see you next time with more competitive, adrenaline-fueled motorsports. But just remember, you're not living unless you're on the edge.